All right. I think we're ready. So just let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me okay and if you can see me okay. Crystal will be with us in a couple seconds here. So, all right. Hi, see you, hear you. All right, sweet. Is the audio okay? We usually just use the audio from the computer, but I do have a mic. If you guys think it could be better, let me know. But if it's all right, we'll just go with this. So, see a couple people say hi, see you, hear you, and someone said nice shirt. Thank you. I love tie-dye shirts. It's like, and it's like not that bright, so it's kind of cool too. It's like team colors. Audio's fine, sounds great. All right, well, let's get on with it then. So welcome to this live. I'm Derek from Simnett Nutrition. We've got Crystal here as well. She is my girlfriend, but also wears like many hats, and she's very knowledgeable herself, knows a lot more about like women's health and menstrual cycles and that sort of stuff than I do. And but she also has a ton more knowledge than that, so she's a super valuable resource. She used to work at a naturopath clinic, and you got a ton of different pool of resources to draw from. And I'm a holistic nutritionist. That's what I went to school in, and did some one-on-one coaching for a little while. Started this YouTube channel. And then just found like this is my passion. Love sharing like healthy recipes and meals with everybody, and helping to inspire people, to eat more plant-based, to get more active. So that's what we're doing here today. So if you guys have any questions that we can help you with, let us know. And and then we'll just do it. Sounds good. What are some good ab exercises using a pull-up bar? Okay, cool. So we're gonna get right into the calisthenics questions. So it's hard to know because with calisthenics, it's always tough. You got to know somebody's starting point, where they're at. But I would say like hanging knee raises or hanging leg raises are some of the best. But you really want to try and think about working like the core rather than just the hip flexors, because it's really easy to just pull your legs up or your knees up using those rather than like your core. But yeah, that's a really good one. Do you have any other? I mean, toe to bar and that sort of stuff if you can do it. But they're
just
very
hanging.
advanced.
Hollow body hanging holds can really strengthen.
Really good. Look up that hollow body hanging holds. It's a really good one.
And also pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff like that, because you're just using like so much.
All right. Okay, well, let's get into this right away. Someone was like arguing if I'm natty or not. And someone was like, he has never said he is natty or not. Derek, are you natty? No hate. So am I natty, Crystal?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely not. So when I sit here and look at myself, like, and people are like asking this, I'm like, really, like, have we set the bar this low? I don't know what that was, but no, definitely, like, when you guys see pictures of me, from the gym and stuff like that, when I'm like pumped up and the lighting's good and everything, like, yeah, I look pretty like, kind of crazy. And sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I, didn't think I'd ever get here, but I am. Did it totally naturally. Of course, I take creatine, protein powder. But I've never taken any, anabolic steroids, any PEDs, any SARMs, because I know some people try and get around that. Oh yeah, no, I've never taken any steroids, but I took SARMs. So I've never taken any of that stuff. But trust me, it's tempting. And you guys know with this industry, it's like you got to look your best all the time. Or I don't, but if you want to be, up there in the top. So anyways. Yeah. So how come I can't get the same results? Somebody said, well, you're not me. There's people that, I look up to that have way better results from me than me. And, and like, yeah, what's the secret? I don't really know. So you got to just be consistent, work out really hard. One thing that I see, and I'll let you talk soon.
No, it's okay. You go on. I don't know.
A lot of at the gym, and I think we've talked about this, and you know what I'm going to say.
Yes.
What am I going to say?
That people honestly don't work out hard enough.
Yeah.
So.
But you suffered from that a little bit. You just didn't realize how hard you had to push in order to gain muscle. And at the point where I'm at now, like, I'm not even that muscular. And it's like, for me to gain more muscle, it's very difficult. It's not just like, oh, I just start putting like more weight on or whatever. Like every time I go to the gym, I'm doing, 4 to 5 sets per exercise, 10, 12, 15 reps, going to like nearly failure, just really, really pushing really hard. And, that's what it takes. And put your phone down, work out hard. It's this thing I see so many people at the gym in between their sets. They're just on their phone. They take way too long. Superset stuff, pyramid set, just get moving. You're there to do some business at the gym. So Yeah, but don't compare yourself to me. You won't look like me. I'm short. I'm little. I have very like round, like bally muscles, so I'm very lucky in that sense. Like Crystal and I, this is a funny comparison. Like
look how long my arm is compared to Derek.
Look at that.
Obviously his bicep is going to look really big because he has like this arm,
Yeah.
this part on him is a lot shorter. Mine a lot bigger. So it's gonna take me a lot to look like to have like big bally muscles like Derek. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a woman, so I'm never really gonna have that. But like genetics play a big role, how your body shape is, like long, short limbs. Derek, I always say that Derek's like a genetic freak. He's just got the best of everything.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a ball of muscle. He's really lucky in that way. And, you know, some people's bodies are more suited to like other things. And
yes.
yeah, you can't compare your body to someone else's.
Yes.
It's also, Derek's been doing this for many, many years, at least at least like 7 or 8 years now, like working out like consistently and really hard. So
yeah,
it takes a lot of time.
I love it. Happy day. I'm using my brand new Vitamix for the first time.
Oh,
Mary,
yay! That's
love
the best.
that.
That's the best. You're gonna be like, how did I live without this for so long?
Best source of protein, in my opinion. So, man, I gotta say it. It's gotta be soy tofu. That's like one of my main sources. Of course, there's like beans and lentils and stuff, but they're not overly high in protein. But you know, they definitely are great sources. But I would say, yeah, tofu and tempeh probably for me one of my number one. And I know that'll be controversial, but that's okay. Simnett, you are the GOAT, greatest of all time. That's so nice. In case anybody didn't know what that stood for, had to tell you. Also, I'm wondering if kombucha is healthy because it has probiotics, but a lot of sugar and no fiber, kind of like fruit juice. Yeah, I think kombucha. There's a wide range of like, you know, of types of like how it's been made, right? There's like some of that commercial stuff, which is probably very sugary. There's some of the stuff that you might make at home, which is like, you know, virtually like old Italian wine, pretty much at that point. But so I think for once in a while, I think it's like great to like enjoy, definitely like better than pop and that sort of stuff. The microbes are supposed to convert the sugar into like antioxidants and stuff, but when it still tastes sweet, you got to wonder. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Any thoughts on kombucha, Crystal?
I think it's good to have like maybe like once in a while and stuff like that. Maybe every day, but like not like huge bottles of it. Maybe every day.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. It kind of just like depends what you're using it for. If you're just trying to like get off pop or something,
yes,
it's probably a better alternative. But if you're just you just have to be careful because it can be really hard on your enamel and your teeth. So I've heard people recommend that you put a little bit of water with it, so you kind of water it down, and then that can also kind of like, you know, bring down the sugar and stuff in the when you're drinking it. But it just depends on how much you're drinking it, right? Everything, if you just drink that only as your one source of hydration,
well, they're not. I don't think
maybe not healthy. If you're having a little bit, it's probably fine. But I think it would probably be a little bit better than maybe fruit juice, although some of them, like you said, do have fruit juice in them. So it kind of just depends on like why you're drinking it, if it's for taste or health or what.
Somebody said, Warren says, this is, you know, actually, no, I'm not going to. Warren says, somebody's channel was taken down for good. Someone who's been very critical of the vegan scene, who's made some mean videos about me. So, whatever. I don't know. I don't follow any.
Yeah, we don't follow people like that. No. But I also don't believe in people having their channel really taken down.
Yes, but if people are bullying and being mean, there's got to be, you know, some sort of repercussions, because you know, if people were to do that before the internet came around, it's like you get like, you know, but when it's just the internet, you can do some really hurtful things and there's really no repercussions, because that person made some videos about me that were quite hurtful, and, you know, I managed to work through it and it's fine, but some people might not have, and they might have, you know, might have really hurt them. And so, yeah, I'm a big advocate of free speech, but that doesn't mean that you can just go around like, it's so hard because free speech shouldn't be on a sliding scale, but you just can't go around like, you know, offending people and but then it's like, oh, everyone's offended by everything these days. Let's get off this topic. Do you recommend neck training for strengthening the body? Well, I wouldn't recommend it for strength. Like, I don't think for the whole body, I don't think so. But I think that, yeah, there's probably benefits to it. It's just tedious and like not very fun. But I've always wanted like a bit thicker neck. Crystal always laughs at me because I'm like, my neck's too thin. But nothing makes a dude look like more tough than like having a thick neck. And maybe if you have a tattoo on it. Oh wow, okay. Where should we go from here? Oh, no, okay. Okay, great. Thanks everyone for joining, by the way. We're just looking for some good questions here. Free speech do not mean no consequence. Exactly. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, free speech does not mean no consequence. There you go. Free to say it. Free to suffer the consequences. Hi, do you recommend taking creatine as a vegan? This is from Proicon or Proicon. I'm not sure how to pronounce, but depends on your goals. But I would say I would look into some of the benefits, and I think that's something to consider for sure. We don't get any in our diet, as we know, but we do make enough, to survive, to thrive, to build muscle, to do everything that we need. But there have been studies showing that if you supplement it, there can be some benefits. One of them that was kind of a surprise to me was some cognitive benefits. So yeah, it might be something to look into, even if you're not a bodybuilder. And those were not very high doses. I think those were only around like the maybe 1, 2, 3 grams of creatine a day, whereas like the sort of bodybuilding dose is more like 5 grams. But I don't even take that because I'm a smaller guy and I just like try to be kind to my body. So I take probably, I probably take about 3 grams or 4 grams in my smoothie per day. That's pretty specific. Oh yeah, so we have some super chats here. Super chats are where you can donate a little bit of money and your question pops up. I will make sure I get to that. Don't feel obligated at all to do this, but you're more than welcome to. 2 questions in one. In one of your earlier videos, you mentioned potential health risks of protein overconsumption. Can you elaborate on that? And then 2, thoughts on peanut butter powders such as PB Fit as a daily protein source. Okay, so yeah, potential health risks of protein overconsumption. Well, like hard on the kidneys.
Very hard on the kidneys.
Would be the one. But if you're eating, but if you're eating like plant foods and stuff like that, the whole plant foods, it's not really going to be of concern. But the thing is, you will have. That's the thing. If you're trying to eat a whole very high protein diet, you might not be eating the best quality foods, right?
Right. Even if you're on a plant-based diet, right? Because a lot of people, if for high protein, would go towards more fake meats.
That's what I'm saying.
More processed stuff.
Yeah.
Which then could be a little bit harder. But if you're doing whole foods,
bad for your microbiome, not good for you.
High protein, it's like you're going to be kind of like limited in how much kind of protein I guess you can get from that.
Yes, and
not limited. I don't mean that. I just mean
it'll be hard to overdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like 250 grams of protein on a whole food plant-based diet will be a lot difficult, right?
Yes. If you want to learn about protein overconsumption, Dr. Garth Davis has a book called Proteinaholic, and it talks a lot about that, and it's very interesting. But I do think that some people or some maybe authorities in the vegan movement do maybe downplay the importance of protein too much, where and then others I think overplay it as well, where they say like you can't get enough protein from beans and stuff and we have to introduce these mock meats. I don't think that's true, but I also don't think that we don't ever have to consider protein, and we should eat the least amount possible, like especially if you're an athlete and you're trying to build muscle and just kill it. I don't think that's necessarily true either, but anyways,
that balance.
And then thoughts is peanut butter powder such as PB Fit as a daily protein source. It's got to be pretty highly processed. I don't really know the process that it goes through, but hey, protein powder is the same thing, right? So who am I?
It depends, because some of them have like
sugar
in them, so then you're kind of like offsetting the lower fat with more sugar.
Yeah.
I think you can get ones that are not sweetened, so that might be a benefit. I think isn't it defattened? Like it's the fat's taken out.
Yeah, but I don't know how that's a chemical process or a mechanical process. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. Peanuts, is one of these things that are like very common, like allergens, right? Like I'm not talking about food sensitivity, like full on allergen. So maybe having that type of food every single day in a like concentrated, like processed form might not be the best, but if it works for you. But I would just find like a good, clean plant protein powder if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, because I don't know if like a peanut powder would be the best kind of protein source.
So this is a good question. This is from John Hill. This can't be, no, this is not John. John Hill's a YouTuber, a friend, I'm happy to call a friend of mine. But he's plant-based and he has a skateboard channel, and he's like one of the hardest grinding guys I've ever met in my life.
But he has no profile picture, so I don't know.
It's not him. But John Hill, you got the same name as my buddy, and you asked, how much oil do y'all eat? Do you avoid even trace amounts? So I like this question because, as you guys know, for the most part, I cook oil free. I don't use it in my sauces, in my dressings, in my cooking. But it's hard to avoid completely. So it's going to be in some of the tortillas that I have. Occasionally when I do we have these like frozen like noodles, and there's definitely like some oil in there. Occasionally when I'm making a stir fry, I'll put some.
Yeah, we have olive oil in our cupboard.
Yes.
And I think another kind of oil, sunflower, maybe.
But the problem with oil comes when.
So yeah, we use it sometimes. Like when I made my chili, that recipe, I like use oil because it's like just it's just kind of nice to saute veggies in it for something like that.
But we use like a teaspoon for for many servings,
amount.
Right? We're not drizzling it on. And that's where I think the problem comes when people start adding it to. They add it to their stir fries, then they add it to their salad dressings. They add it to everything, and then it just mounts up. 1 tablespoon is 120 calories. That's pretty easy to do a few times throughout the day. 300-400 extra calories in a day, added up over the weeks, months, years, it's going to really add up.
Especially because it's just pure fat, really.
Yeah. So Mary has a question for you. Crystal, do you have online resource books you'd recommend for women hormonal health support? Love you guys and your videos.
I have a lot of books. Yeah. I think one of the best books that I've ever read on the topic of like hormone support would probably be Period Repair Manual by Laura Brydon. It doesn't really talk much about nutrition, and she does say some stuff about soy that like I was like, I don't think that's correct. But other than that, when she talks about like different health issues, like PMS or like if you're having really painful cramps or just that kind of thing, she gives a lot of advice and things that can help, especially if you have like PCOS. I found her books really in depth on that. And I think she also has a new book out about perimenopause as well. I don't know if it's out yet, but the nice thing about what she does is that she actually gives you like a plan of action. So she's like, these supplements can be really helpful. Like if you have heavy bleeding or if you have PMS and that kind of thing. And she's not like telling you what to take. She's just like, these are helpful. And then you can kind of maybe pick and choose a few that might be of help to you. So I thought that book's probably like the #1 that I've read. I'm just trying to like look over. You can answer some questions.
Okay. Well, someone comments. Someone said I was reading about peanut flour lately, and it's usually defatted by pressing, so that's cool. It's a mechanical process. Someone said my hormones are screwed. Oh no.
There's also a book called Happy Hormone Guide by Shannon Leparsky. She used to go by the Glowing Fridge on Instagram. I actually don't think she's vegan like anymore, but her whole book was actually like a plant-based hormone kind of guide. So take that with what you will. But that's really good if you're looking for more plant-based support. But the Period Repair Manual is just more of like a general overview of like issues that can help, that can happen, menstrual health issues, and like how to support them with like supplementation and that kind of thing. And it's very in depth, and I thought it was really, really good.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, there's lots of great questions here.
So someone asked, they haven't had a period. And they're 36, but their blood work is normal. So I would look at, like, if you haven't had a period for over a year, I would look at like your stress levels, also your sleep. Like, I don't know if you have children, you didn't say, but like having kids can like throw off, like your hormones and stuff like that. But stress levels is a huge, huge issue with menstrual health. Like it can really throw things off. The other thing too is what you eat. Like how many calories are you taking in? Are you avoiding carbohydrates? Are you avoiding fats? Like, are you eating enough of those? Because obviously, when as women, it's very common for us to be maybe a little bit more critical on our diet and be like, oh, I'm going to eat lower carb. I'm going to eat lower fat, which is common in the vegan community, is having like a lower fat diet, but you need to have healthy fats. And I find that can be a pitfall for some women when they're not eating the right kind of amounts of these things or eating enough calories or blah, 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 is that you can have that issue with like losing your period. And this can go for people that eat like super healthy too. Like, but if you eat almost sometimes like too healthy or too clean, that can maybe affect things too. You need to have like healthy fats. You need to have good complex carbohydrate sources and like a balance of those things. Hopefully that helps. I'm not sure. It's hard to give advice when you don't know the full story.
Yeah, you're so knowledgeable though. Just want to pop up and say thanks for the super chat donation from BK. So thanks for all you do. We have 2 children and they have been plant-based since birth, and they're super healthy. Your channel has been very helpful. Keep up the great work.
Awesome.
All right. We definitely will. Thank you.
Oh, was there another one too?
I think we saw that one. It was the one on your online sources and books.
Okay.
Yes. Stomach pain. a lot of questions about soy here. A lot of people want to know about soy. It's interesting. So someone said, what do you recommend when I can't eat soy products due to stomach pain when consumed? Yeah, definitely don't have that. Don't have soy. Have you tried tempeh? It's a fermented version. It might be a little bit easier. Yes, that's someone else here. They also have chickpea tofu. Yeah, they have different types of tofu now. There's one around here that they make out of some bean. I forget what it is.
And it can also like, what are you putting on your tofu as well? It could be something maybe that you're marinating, or a spice. Like sometimes garlic powder can be like really hard on the stomach, or like raw garlic or something like that. Like I don't know. I think of those things because those things I find tend to like bother me. It's like, oh, what spices am I putting on here? You know?
Yeah. Also try to get organic soy, because
yes.
we know that soy is like one of these really highly sprayed foods. Does it make a difference if I train fasted or not? How can I correctly break a fast? This is from Bianca. So yeah, definitely it makes a difference if you train fasted or not. Yeah, it definitely does make a difference. If okay, so how can I correctly break fast? I mean, I would just break it, first of all, with like some water. That's not really breaking it fast, it's not calories, but you definitely want a little bit of water in there. And then like something nice like fruits, like some ripe fruits, usually like the best way that I find. Should be ripe too, shouldn't be like, some, unripe.
Can I chime in a little?
And then, training fasted, does it make a difference? I think it can be helpful, but it's really just a different, like a way to like limit like your calories. That's like the main thing there. Crystal?
I definitely don't recommend it for women, and I'm guessing with the name Bianca that maybe you're a woman. I don't recommend it just because it can be really hard on your body. And when you're in a fasted state, especially like when women are in a fasted state, it can like really increase our cortisol levels, which can actually be detrimental. And it can also affect our hormones. And when, like Derek said, a lot of people use fasting or intermittent fasting to limit their calories or to limit the window that they're eating, which is fine if you're eating enough calories, but sometimes some people find it hard. And so what can happen is that you might feel great at first when you start intermittent fasting and you're like working out in the morning fasted and you're like, this is amazing. But then over time, you might not feel as good because your body's like, I'm hungry. And I just find for women, I just don't think the evidence is really there to suggest like doing fasting that can be like, it can just be unsustainable. But if you feel good doing it, you do you, right? I used to intermittent fast and I used to not fast, or I used to fast and do my workouts fasted. But then I got to a point where I was like, I don't feel like I'm really making any progress or anything like that. And I kind of like looked at how I was eating and the intermittent fasting. And I was like, I actually think this is probably worse for my hormones than it is beneficial. Whereas Derek, he's a man, he can fast easily. And I don't know, it doesn't affect men. There's a lot more benefits. So I find like having something in the morning, just like something small in my stomach for when I work out has been like a lot more beneficial than when I was intermittent fasting. But again, we're all different. It depends on goals and stuff like that. But I just find for health, I think it's a little bit healthier to not fast as a woman, or intermittent fast, I should say.
Someone here says, oh, I lost the question. Sorry. What's the name of your big blender? So that's a Vitamix. We have a Vitamix 5200 is the number.
She old.
Yeah, it's like probably.
I don't think they make them anymore.
No, they do. They do.
Oh, they do. Okay, good. Oh, thank goodness.
No, it's like the most classic Vitamix.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's
has like the fastest blade speed, which is kind of important when you want to like blend stuff up. It's definitely like one of the best ones. There's others that are much more advanced. They have all the different like settings and stuff like that, but I think that one's great.
Also, I just want to say, if you guys are on the fence about getting a Vitamix because you're not sure if they're worth the money or they won't last that long, Derek, like we've been together for like what, like man, 9, almost 9 years probably. He brought the Vitamix into our relationship. Like he had it before he met me. Like that thing, incredible. The only issue we've had is one of our like little what do you call it? The jugs. We've had to get a new one. But the motor itself, like the actual like base of it, perfect. It's like knock on wood, but it's lasted so long. They're very much worth the money. Yeah, they are. I know it's hard to justify at first because you think like, oh, I have this like, $30 or $40 like Black & Decker blender, Oyster, whatever the company is, blender that,
you know how you use it, and you're kind of like, I just can't justify spending that much money. But it turns into so much more than just you using the blender, like, a couple times a week for a smoothie. Like, yeah, you just end up using it for like everything. So, or not everything, but a lot more things. Anyways, we're not
worth it.
Not sponsored. Want to be sponsored. So somebody here says, yeah, I think, is this yes, any cheap staple meal advice? Yeah. So with the current rise in living and the price of groceries, have you noticed any change in your grocery cart and or diet? Any cheap staple meal advice? Hello from Newfoundland, a longtime fan. So
nice.
On the very opposite coast
on
of
the
Canada.
East coast of Canada, we're on the west.
And I hope you did okay with the with the big hurricane that went through the East Coast and everybody else. That was crazy. Anyways, so yeah, I've definitely noticed a difference. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced this, but especially here in Canada, we have experienced inflation like incredible in the last few years. Like, I just don't know how people are managing, and the stuff has gotten a lot more expensive. But something that I've noticed is like, kind of the fresh produce, dried beans, the organic stuff hasn't really gone up too much in price. But the conventional foods have, I noticed, and then the processed foods have as well. Like I used to see those Amy's burritos. Sometimes they'd be on sale for like 2 for, what would it be, like $2 for $5? Yeah,
like
$2.50.
3 maybe for
And I could justify it then, but now
they're like $5 each or something. It's crazy.
And I just look at it and I'm like, man, it's not worth it. So maybe it's even like better for my health that these things are getting like more expensive. But yeah, that's definitely one thing that I've learned. Also, like, avocados, where before we kind of like just get them, now we kind of like really think, do we want them this week, do we not?
Things are very expensive.
First world problems, but like, definitely have noticed, and we try to be less wasteful with food now as well. Like, it was always something we're conscious of, but we're much more conscious of it now. And then also doing a lot more stuff in the Instant Pot. Crystal's been making so many different meals in there, and we find that is a lot. Like
buying a lot more like dried beans and stuff like that, and then taking advantage of Costco because they have a lot of like canned beans and chickpeas and stuff, which are a little bit more expensive than getting dried, but at least they're on, like, you have them on hand. And then having like the bulk of what we buy is more like dried stuff, whereas like a few years ago we would just buy canned stuff because we were like, oh, dried, whatever. But like it honestly is really a lot more cost effective to buy that. But yeah, we've kind of just like, we just don't really buy much processed food anymore. It's just so expensive, especially like the Gardein stuff or like the meat alternatives and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Cool. Yeah, great.
Even tofu has gone up in price. I find that kind of rude, actually. I'm like, why tofu, not tofu?
Someone asked, hi, what vegan philosophers or influenced you, or do you recommend? So I guess you mean like more like people that are more like the ethical side of things. I mean, no one does it better than Earthling Ed. He's the king. And then there's like Joey Carbstrong as well. Those guys, they really have it covered. There's a lot of people that do that activist kind of stuff, but like they do it the best. And yeah, I'm not endorsing every single message that any of those guys like say, just because I don't know, I don't watch them that closely, but they do it really well. There's another one, I think his name's Humane Hancock, something like that. He does very similar street activism kind of stuff, and that's really, really cool work.
Oh yeah, look, Irene says that she's had a Vitamix 5200 for 12 years, and she bought it refurbished. Wasn't yours refurbished? Yeah, because I remember Derek was like, you couldn't really afford a new one, so you can get them refurbished, and ours has lasted almost that long too. Like, it's crazy.
Just the table shaky.
Yeah, I keep putting my hands on the table and it's shaking.
Oh, that's definitely from some.
So many spam calls. Do you guys get like a lot of spam calls? It's crazy. Yeah, also, another thing that's changed.
Yeah.
It's just random numbers calling all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so someone says, hi, this is from Jaden. Hi, suggestions for getting back to working out after falling out of it for a long time because of school and other stressful things. Yeah, Jaden. So, man, you just like, there ain't nothing to it but to do it, like don't set. So the thing when you have like when you used to work out, you have this like, you remember how hard you used to go, and you remember how, things used to flow in the gym, and then you just expect it to be like that. And that, okay, go crush it for an hour and a half, and you remember that, but it doesn't have to be like that. You don't just start like that. You just got to like, start back slowly, just do something small, even if it's just like some push-ups every day before you get dressed, like, just do 50 or something like that. That'll help you like get back into it. But yeah, I honestly just like think about the time that's passing that that's going to pass anyways, where you could be like working out. Like that's something that usually gets me moving. And I like to think of like my future self being like, thinking of me being like, hey, you past self, you got to start moving like right now. But I don't know, like, yeah, just find a routine, find something that you like, and just stick to it. It seems so simple, but I don't know what else to say. Do you have any recommendations like for getting, I don't know what your roadblocks are. That's the thing. But you just said, just because of school and other stressful things. So hopefully those aren't so stressful in your life anymore, and you're able to just, get back to it.
Finding something that you enjoy.
That's the main thing.
If it's like going to the gym, that's great. You can go and get like a gym membership, which is really enticing because you want to use it because you're paying for it. Or if you like to go running, just like Derek says, the hardest part is just lacing your shoes up, and you don't even have to you can like jog or go for a walk. Like walking is a great form of exercise, and I think people like are so like they're like, I haven't worked out for a long time. It's like, well, have you walked? Like, do you walk around campus? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever school you're going to. It's like walking is a great exercise too. So just getting into moving your body, and then like starting small can help. Or just like finding a program that you like or an app on your phone that you like that you can either work
something
out
to stick with,
at home, or take it to the gym, and then like at least you have like a plan, and then you can put that to action.
Nice. Some vegan metalheads asked, how hard is it to be vegan in rural Kentucky? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know rural Kentucky that well, but I know some places down in the States, they're like food deserts where they don't have like fresh food. Like they don't have like grocery stores or farmers markets or anything, even though some of the food probably is grown down that way. I don't know, but we can, like, especially in the States, you can order stuff now, have it like shipped right to your door.
But it's going to be hard, obviously. Yeah. Like we're not like here to like sugarcoat that.
No,
like it's going to be difficult. And that's why we don't put out that message
of
like, you have to be vegan or else or anything. It's like, no, just eat more plants. That's like really important, especially if you live somewhere rural or whatever. Like, can you grow a garden? Are you able to trade stuff for vegetables with your neighbors or something like that?
And start with just like one meal, a day or a week or whatever that maybe make it breakfast, or maybe make it like your dinner that you just every day, like, okay, I know, you already know all the other meals. So it's like, put a little effort into that, just small incremental steps.
But I'm sure it's hard. I mean, when Derek and I went on a road trip a few years ago down the Oregon coast, there was even some towns that we went through that like we were like, is there a grocery store, anything? Like there was nothing. It was really very eye-opening.
Yes.
So, but I just hope that everyone has access to food,
Yeah.
It'd be hard.
Yeah, so, I know. No,
it's
I
like
know.
the reality is like that's not reality for some people.
No, I know. And people are
like
squeezed,
hard,
and it's like cheaper to get, a big meal from McDonald's to get that, 700, 800 calories in than it is to make healthy food. I get it. We got to change the system. Forever looking for sprouted bread after seeing it in your videos. Amazed to see the macros are as good protein bagels and bread, or as good as protein bagels and bread. Thank you for sharing, as I never knew it existed.
That bread that we get is like just regular old bread, and it's like
7 grams.
6 grams.
6 or 7 grams of protein per slice.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Lighting changed. Looks way better now.
Oh, so, the lighting did change.
Sorry about that. It was really like gray in the beginning, but whatever. You guys aren't here for our faces, here for the info, or maybe her face. Definitely not mine.
No.
Someone said I lived in Kentucky, and it's not that bad at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What brand of no soy tofu do you use?
Oh.
I can't seem to find it here in Tucson.
No.
So the brand is called Big Mountain Foods. It's actually a local brand. I believe it's made in BC, or like where we live in Canada. Yeah. So I don't know if it's something that you can find everywhere, but there is a brand called Light Life that we've seen in Whole Foods when we were down in the States, and I believe that they make non-tofu tofu, and I believe they make one with like hemp seeds or something like that.
Yeah.
Or sunflower.
Yes.
Or it's tofu or tempeh that.
No, it's tempeh.
So you can look for that instead. But I don't know if the brands that we buy here, like the Big Mountain Foods, is available in the States. I'm not sure.
No, I don't know if it is either. Big Mountain Foods mushroom bites are one of my favorite things in the universe. Nice. Yeah, they're really good. It's a woman-owned company as well. I know that because it says on the box. Yes. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. Someone asked about if we've heard of the name John Rose and juice fasting, and what are our thoughts on mucoid plaque? Is it real or not? I honestly don't know enough about it. I mean, there's definitely lots of different plaques in our body, types of plaque that
Haven't we met him?
John Rose.
Oh no, who's that guy at the fruit fest we went to?
Was it John? No, it wasn't John
No, it
Rose.
wasn't. No,
it
no,
was. Oh man, I'll remember his name. Like
I'm sure, like short-term juice feasting or fasting is probably okay, but a lot of people that we know that have gone down that route of like doing like super long-term juice fasts, like weeks to months, don't always do well when they come off of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't mean that like they're like sick or anything like that, but I just don't know, like I don't know long-term if it's like super sustainable to do stuff like that.
Cool. Light Life is at Safeway here in the United States. Oh, cool. There we go. Big Mountain available is in the States, but it's tricky to find the soy-free tofu.
Yeah, we had a hard time finding, like, we didn't even know it was a product that existed until we just saw it randomly in like the most random store here in town that we would never have expected to even have tofu.
Yeah.
And they just have like soy-free tofu. But it's really good. Like, it's made with fava beans, I think.
Yes, fava.
And like one block is like kind of tiny, but it has like 60 something grams of protein in it. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, so
honestly, kind of, I'm like, is that true? Like, that's crazy.
Someone said, I know parasites are real. Still got to find the mucoid plaque in me. Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't know. I know. Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm sure that there's like a bunch in our intestines.
No.
Hopefully, if you have a lot.
Someone's like, John Rose is amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's a controversial name. I'm not huge into the raw juicing vacuum juicer like scene. So anyways, I've done 30 days juice at the most, the best I've ever felt.
Yeah, a lot of people feel great after it. I just know that there's been like a lot of people that have done that and have been really into it, and then they've kind of like fallen off the vegan wagon.
So this is a good question here from My Natural Destiny. I need to lose weight, but I keep hearing that I need to keep my protein high. I'm struggling with calorie deficit and high protein as a vegetarian. So protein is this like amazing nutrient that is good for
building muscle, gaining weight,
and losing weight. All you gotta do is up your protein, and everything's gonna balance out. So
we're joking. That's
and I'm not trying to be facetious to you, because this is what, or I don't know if that's the right saying, but I'm not trying to be mean, because this is what we've been told. And if you read the magazines, it's just like you need more protein. And then, but they fail to tell you that like a lot of the time they're referring to like proteins and stuff. It's like, chicken and this and that. And then they don't tell you that it comes packed with like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like they're telling you gotta avoid like different types of fats and stuff. But it's like,
but how do you?
Anyways, protein I say this again and again. I don't think that protein intake is the limiting factor for most people reaching their health goals. So, that's unless you're trying to be a massive bodybuilder, or you're eating a very low amount of protein, in which case you're probably not eating enough calories. I don't think that protein is an issue. So trying
to lose weight. Yeah.
You want to keep your protein levels up, especially when you're losing weight, if you want to like maintain muscle. But that doesn't mean that we have to just be like seeking it out all the time. Just eat some higher protein sources throughout the day. Like we mentioned, tofu, tempeh, beans, lentils. What else is there? But there's quinoa. There's tofu in like
protein.
Yeah, protein powder.
Yeah, it's like everything. Sorry, there's tofu in.
Oh, is that what I said?
Yeah.
I always do that.
But if you're struggling with a calorie deficit and high protein, then maybe like you're probably eating enough protein as it is. So then maybe you shift the focus to maybe focusing more on the deficit, and making sure that the foods that you are eating are very like high quality.
Yes.
Good quality foods, because that actually matters too.
Yeah. There you go.
When it comes to how you feel and losing weight and stuff like that.
Yeah. This protein thing is just crazy though. That's always the answer, it seems like, but it's definitely not. It's the quality of food, the amount of foods, and then you also have to increase your activity levels as well, right? So we want to, you want to be exercising more. I know it seems obvious, but These are the answers. Hi from San Antonio, Texas. What's your story? What made y'all go plant-based? I've been plant-based since January. Oh, cool. Congratulations. Coming up on whatever, 8 months, 9 months now, almost a year. So, what made me go plant-based? Well, I've told this story a few times, so I'll tell the really short version of it. So years ago, I was dating a girl, not Crystal, different girl.
Rude.
And she was like really into animals and everything like that. And she was sort of like a little bit vegetarian and trying to like kind of figure it out. And then she went to school to study holistic nutrition, which I eventually went to study. And she started learning about the animal industries and that sort of thing. And then she was like, Derek, you got to start eating more grass-fed. You got to eat, like free range stuff, because the way that they're caring for these animals is terrible. And so once I learned a little bit about it, I was like, I agree, we got to do this. And we didn't have very much money at the time. So it was a bit of a stretch to try and buy grass-fed, beef and the happy eggs and that sort of stuff. But I did start to eat less of it. And as I started to eat less of it, I noticed that my health started to improve. I started to, one thing that I always had was like terrible joint pain. I was trying to like learn guitar at the time. And I just remember my joints were always aching. And I was a big trail runner at the time. And my ankles were always just so achy. And that was one of the things I started noticing. My skin started to clear up. I had like pretty bad acne. And I thought, hey, maybe there's something to this. And then I met some people through her that were vegan and that were thriving. And then I started seeing people online that were doing it. And I was like, holy crap. Because I always thought that if you wanted to eat plant-based, you wanted to be a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever, that it was a sacrifice that you were making of you're sacrificing your health for the animals. That's what I always thought it was. And I was like, that's a really noble thing for people to do. I love animals, but I want to live and like thrive, right? But we're talking like, this is in like the 70s, but this is like 12 or 15 years ago. And yeah, I just didn't know any better. So that was my story. And and then I just, kept at that, and then eventually decided that I want to help other people do this and realize these things. So I went to school for holistic nutrition, did the same thing, different school though. And I loved it. Crystal, do you have a story?
A short and sweet version is I bought this book from the thrift store. I was actually also dating someone at the time, and his sister was vegan, and I didn't know anything about it. And I remember on their their dining room table or whatever, there was this book, and the book was called Skinny Bitch.
That was the book that she read too, that my girlfriend read too.
Which is like not like, I would not say that's like a great introduction to going vegan, but at that time it was like a book that was there, and I was like, that's an interesting book. So I remember I was at the thrift store one day. This was like months later, and I saw that book, and I was like, I'm gonna read it, because I was like, what? I wonder what his like sister was reading or whatever. And I read it, and I remember the part where I believe it was like it talked about slaughterhouses. And at this time, I was about like 18 or 19, and I didn't realize like that was like a whole industry. I grew up where we live now, and there was like I never really saw animals on pastures. I never saw like the big like trucks bringing animals down to a slaughterhouse. I honestly, like, it's so embarrassing and so naive to say, but I honestly really thought that animals died like of old age and we would eat them.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so embarrassed about it. But that really opened my eyes to like industrial farming. And I was like, holy crap, this is awful.
Yeah.
And I remember just having this moment where I like was looking at my family dog, and I was like, I literally could like never hurt you or pay anyone to hurt you, like, obviously. And I was like, but how can I pay someone to hurt animals that I would love to have like as pets? Like, I'd love to have a cow and like, chickens and stuff like that, just as pets. Like, they're animals have personality.
Yeah, we know if you get to know them all, they all have different
And I made that connection right there, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't eat meat. And I remember being like, Mom, Dad, I'm going vegetarian. And my parents were like, okay, well, maybe we'll do that for a week, see how we feel. And they were really supportive. And so I went vegetarian, and then I never looked back. And then I eventually was like reading about dairy and eggs and stuff. And it was really easy for me to give up those foods because I didn't really like eggs anyways. And dairy, there's just so many kind of like replacements. So that's like kind of my story. But it was making the connection between like animals on my plate and the animals like in my life, where I was like, oh my gosh.
Nice. Let's see.
Someone asked if I was trans. I'm not, but nothing wrong with that, is there? Like, damn, show your true colors. There's nothing wrong with being trans, but I'm not trans. I'm a woman.
Remember in the beginning there was all the conspiracy theories and the people thought that I was woman turned male.
Yeah, and there was like
and then they thought that I was
someone
like the same person as like Brian Turner or whatever, or
so
like
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was wild. Anyways, that was a fun time. I wish there was more crazy people in the scene. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. What? Okay. What is cool to see in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle and Vancouver? Me and my wife want to visit, but we don't know what is cool to see. We are in Washington, D.C. and vegan around 2 years. Washington, D.C. is not Washington State. No,
East Coast.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, this is not really a health and nutrition related question, but we will handle it. The Pacific Northwest, Seattle, man, just the coast. The coast is like so beautiful.
Just go to Vancouver, you'll love it. Like, check out the seawall.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about Seattle, so I can't really talk about like what's there to see in Seattle. But like
Seattle.
Vancouver, delicious like vegan restaurants, the seawall, Ambleside Beach, which is where we used to live.
Lynn Canyon, check
hiking,
out the
Squamish,
mountains, Whistler.
Oh,
yeah.
You could make like a whole vacation going to Vancouver. It's an amazing city. We lived there for a few years on the North Shore, which is like the West Vancouver area, and we like loved it. It was very fun. But yeah, and then you can come to the island. You can come to Vancouver Island. You can go to Tofino, which is probably like kind of like the funnest kind of part. But there's so much to see on the island. You can go to Victoria, which is at the end of the island. Like there's so much to see here. And then yeah, like you can just imagine like there's just nature everywhere. It's like you cannot find not something fun to do.
Nice. All right. So.
Oh, someone asked about my tattoos.
Oh, do you want to tell?
Sure. Yeah.
We're gonna
someone
do a
also
tattoo
said that someone said I should check out a video on like the heavy metals and tattoos. I know. So when I got my tattoos, I was very young and naive, and I didn't think of the heavy metal issues. So I definitely think about that now. I haven't gotten a new tattoo in like years. So I'm really hoping that my body has been able to detox all of this. But that is kind of a concern, right? When you get a tattoo. But anyways, this is a sleeve. It's hard to see, but there's a bunch of flowers. And then I have my cat. He's passed away, but his name was Harry. You guys, some of you might remember him. He's been in videos. He was a gray kitty. He was very special to us.
Nice. Good question for me. But my elbow, I'll get to that. You keep going.
And so that's like my sleeve. And then I have a mandala here, and there's some birds, and it's just, yeah. And then I have an elephant right here. And then I have the Sanskrit word for ahimsa right here. And then I have dates on my wrists, which are my parents' birthdays. So, and then I have like some stick and poke tattoos, but they're like, I would not advise giving yourself a stick and poke tattoo. But they're quite small. Like there's like a dot right here. I actually have a V right on my thumb. I did that years ago.
Alrighty.
So yeah, anyways, you can go on about your question with your elbows.
Yeah, so you guys might remember I was suffering from some serious elbow pain. And it was really debilitating. So it was on the inside of my elbow here, and it's often referred to as golfer's elbow. Our cat just came inside, so of course.
Sorry, no, I just wanted to.
And it's often referred to as golfer's elbow. Tennis elbow is generally on the outside. Golfer's elbow is on the inside. But somebody commented, and after doing a little bit of research, it might actually be ulnar nerve. Something to do with the ulnar nerve. Shoot, I can't remember. I tried to memorize it, but I couldn't. Compression. Ulnar nerve compression. And they're often kind of like both. You know, sometimes you can get that with golfer's elbow. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about, but so it's anyways, pain inside elbow, really bad. And I noticed it was when I was sleeping. I would sleep like on my stomach like this, or like curled up like this, and it was always in the morning, so painful. And then it would, you know, just be throughout the day pretty painful. And I had to I'm
just laughing because Derek sleeps like this. It's like, no wonder your elbows are like sore. He's like, my elbows are so sore. I'm like, why do you sleep like this?
So I think there was a lot of factors leading up to that, but that was like the final thing that like, yeah, I don't know why it started, because I probably always slept like that. But anyways, long story short, I realized I had to keep my arms straight when I was sleeping, because that was like, that was when it was the most painful. It didn't hurt when I was working out. it would actually like warm up and feel better. So I got these, and these are like these arm sleeves, but these are kind of special because it'll be hard to see. Yeah, you won't be able to see it. But they have like some different padding on the inside. And there's actually like a bit of like a donut kind of thing on the inside of the elbow, and that goes around here so it doesn't press against that nerve. But anyways, putting these on at night, I sleep with these on. Just nothing but straight romance in our bed. And anyways, and I sleep with these on, and it's enough that when I try and like bend my arm to do this, it's enough that it tells me, no, you gotta sleep straight. So then I just like, I don't sleep with my arms out, but like down to the side like this. And it's helped, and I don't have the pain anymore. And it was affecting my like pull-ups and everything. So anyways, I don't know if that'll be helpful for everybody, but along with that, I didn't do just that. Along with that, I did a lot of stretching of, like this, a lot, you can't really see, but putting my hand down like this actually worked great on a wall, like this, and then just doing different, putting it up like that. Anyways, that really helped.
This is what happens when you get old, y'all.
Not fun.
Peter sent a super chat, and he says Meat on Blanchard is coming to Victoria. So there's a restaurant.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
not actually sure if this is like Canada-wide meat. Anyways, there's a restaurant in Vancouver that's very popular called Meat on Main, and it's spelled MEET, and it's like a vegan restaurant, and they have like all the like the good junk food kind of stuff. We met friends there last time we were in Vancouver, and delicious. And so that's really fun to know that it's coming to Victoria. I would assume so, because Victoria also has so many vegan restaurants. Our favorite is green cuisine. So if any of you ever go to Victoria on Vancouver Island, there's this like amazing, like kind of like buffet style vegan restaurant.
Yeah, we love that place.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, somebody said here, do you two ever get massaged? That can help a lot with the elbow. Yeah,
no, but we should.
I'm bound up. I need to get, I need some work. But I've been to some workers before.
So soft.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. And then the one girl just like talked about her like old broken down car for like the whole time. I love cars, but I was like, come on, like just pay attention. Anyways, you turned my whole family vegan, but none of us enjoy tofu still after 2 years. What's your favorite way to cook it and make it tasty?
You gotta check out Derek. I think the video is called like how to make tofu taste amazing. Check that on YouTube.
Yep.
Derek makes this like sweet chili sauce tofu that honestly everyone loves.
Yeah. Who would have thought you'd pour a little bit of sugar on your tofu and you cook it?
No, it's really, really good.
But there are other healthier ways to make it taste amazing as well. Try shredding it with a grater, and then working some like taco seasoning into it, and then sauteing it like that with maybe some chopped up bell pepper, onion, that sort of thing.
And if you freeze tofu, it actually changes the texture of it, so it's a little bit more chewier.
Spongier,
and I know that
almost.
like sounds kind of like gross when you think about it, but the texture is it can be for some people who really like different textures with their food, or they don't really like the tofu texture. Freezing it can actually be really nice because it kind of creates maybe more of like a meat-like texture, if you'd want to say.
Somebody says, any recommendations for a smoothie without banana due to allergies? I like how they put that, not just that they didn't like it, because I would have been like blocked. No, I'm just kidding. But with some, it's amazing how many people that are allergic to bananas. It doesn't seem like such a common one, but apparently it is. So yeah, higher calorie fruits would be mango is another one, because that's the nice thing about bananas is they're like calorie dense fruits. There's relatively calorie dense. So mango is another one, and then also like pineapple. But those are really the only two. I can't really think. So then you'd want to add like, probably you'd have to add some like avocado. You can add like, quarter, probably even less, eighth of an avocado or something like that, because it thickens the smoothie quite a bit. That would help bump the calories up, like, hemp seeds and stuff. But yeah, it's hard just like thinking of other fruits, because those are really the only two I can think of. Mango is the big one. That's actually like quite calorie dense. Pineapple and mango, yeah. Mango's high in vitamin E, which is a fun fact, since you guys didn't ask. And vitamin E sometimes kind of hard to get.
And I find that frozen mango is not super, like, you don't really taste it like prominently in smoothies as much as you would maybe like a fresh mango or something like that.
Yeah.
So frozen can be nice.
Blueberries for smoothies, someone said. Yeah, blueberries are good. They're just not very calorie dense, but they're extremely nutritious. Did you do the tennis elbow classroom? No, I did not. But I have Yeah, I do have tennis elbow. No, I have,
No,
I have golfer's elbow.
yeah.
Long sport. Get out of here. I don't play either.
Get out of here.
Someone said I had silken tofu in my smoothie. Cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you could
one.
add tofu, like soft tofu or something to your smoothie. You could add ferns so it could blend it really good.
Oh, bananas are discussed in the Dr. B. Okay, so Paul Sandlin it says, if you are familiar with Dr. B, his latest cookbook has a section on histamines. Bananas are discussed. If you guys have, because I know a lot of people suffer with gas and bloating, and I get a lot of questions about that. If you guys do have questions about that and you want to understand it a little bit further, and histamines in food and the importance of, like, you know, because for a long time I didn't really think that it was that important. I thought it was one of these like sort of like, you know, hippy dippy things. Oh, histamine, but no, it's a big deal. Dr. B talks about it in his book, but also in the latest Rich Roll podcast that he has with them. I think it was just a couple months ago. Listen to the last 40 minutes of it. Or you know, the last 20 minutes.
Listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, listen to the whole thing. But the last 30 or 40 minutes talks about food intolerances and histamine, and it's so valuable. I listened to it twice in the last 2 days.
It's Dr. Will.
Bolsowitz or something like that. I'd love to get him on the channel one time. If you guys think that would be interesting, and I could get some questions from the audience, like, or from you guys, you know, and then ask him, I think it would be really
his
helpful.
name on Instagram is The Gut Health MD.
The Gut Health MD. There you go.
And then we have his book.
We do have his book.
What's the book called?
It is called. I just saw it.
No,
you can go grab it.
Yeah. You can keep talking. I'll grab it.
Yeah.
Oh no! Or did I give it to Mel? I feel like I gave it to.
Crystal might have given it away. She gives away all her Fiber Fueled. Yes.
Fiber Fueled. Yes.
She gives away all her
books to my friend,
like that.
But also, I gave it to my friend, and it was like life changing for her. I'm just saying. So you guys should like look it up, and Dr. B's like the man.
He is the man. He doesn't get
so
because
smart.
The one thing that we were taught in school when I was studying, well, not we were taught many things, but the very first thing, and the thing that they always hammered home in holistic nutrition, is that your health starts in your gut. You have to heal the gut in order to heal, you know, the rest of the body. Everything starts in the gut, and Dr. Will is all about that, and he knows, infinite knowledge. And if you have questions about, people want to know about probiotics and stuff like that, he talks all about that.
And bananas, they're not bad if you don't have like histamine issues. So I see Mel, you said, oh no, I eat bananas every day, and that's fine if you don't have any issues, but some people do. Especially when they're new to eating plant-based. That's what I think you said that in the podcast. He talks about introducing foods and how to remove foods and then introduce them and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. If you have food intolerances, there will come a time where you have to remove a lot of foods from your diet. Definitely the high histamine foods, but maybe some other ones, and then reintroduce foods individually and see if that if the symptoms went away, reintroduce them individually, and then see if they return. You got to keep a journal.
Someone said, what video are you talking about where he talks about that? So we're not talking about a video. He was recently on the Rich Roll podcast, Dr. B. I think Derek said it was like the latest podcast.
Yeah. I have it up here, actually, probably.
And actually, Mel asked if I'm still doing yoga, and I don't do it as often as I want to. I need to get back into it. I used to do it so much, and my body definitely feels it. When you don't do yoga for a while, you definitely feel it.
Yeah, anyways, it's it's there. It's called it's just Dr. Will Bolsowitz. BULSIEWICZ. Yeah.
And I think you can actually find it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can.
On Rich Roll's channel.
Yep. I would recommend everybody listen to that, because he just talks about gut issues that nobody else is talking about, and it's amazing.
It's like 2 hours long, or even over 2 hours. It's crazy. It's amazing that we have access to people.
It's very cool. What's your favorite exercise? Okay. What's your favorite exercise for power in your arms? Sorry, we just jump around and answer a bunch of random questions, but how, there's no continuity here. Favorite exercise for power in your arms and shoulders? Push-ups, definitely one of the number ones for me. And then also pike push-ups. I've demonstrated that on my Instagram stories quite a bit lately. Those are phenomenal. I would say those. And then handstands, just practice them against a wall and stuff, and then practice really extending and pushing away. How long have we both been vegan? So I've been vegan for maybe at least, it's got to be what? It's got to be 11 years now, at least. Strictly vegan since the last time that I ate meat, but I tried to transition before that. So probably like 12 or 13 years now. And probably about the same for you, probably 12 years.
I think so. It was it was late 2009 when I like transitioned.
Okay.
When is that? I'm like trying to like do the math. Yeah, like a long time. It's been like I remember going to the store and being like, oh, there's like only soy milk was the only milk alternative, and now there's like oat and almond and all this kind of stuff. Or no, I shouldn't say that. Almond Breeze was out. I liked Almond Breeze. I remember getting the chocolate Almond Breeze. I think they still make it. Oh, so good. Oh, it was a long time ago. It's crazy how far things have come though. Like now there's like there's vegan yogurts and stuff like that out there, and vegan cheese.
I almost think it's to a detriment, but like,
well, but there has to be, it's nice to have those kind of substitutes.
It's true. I love that talk about like, is it all these the fast food places having like this like crappy but vegan food, is it a good thing, isn't it? I just like, I think it's such an interesting topic. And actually Joey Carbstrong recently got in some trouble because he got the McDonald's like vegan burger or something, and then people were mad at him for kind of promoting that. But anyways, that's a whole other discussion.
So you can't do anything right.
No, but I can see both sides of it, so I don't know, I don't have the right answer. Anyways, we need to get away from too much processed stuff. Any thoughts on having a meet and greet, maybe in Vancouver?
Maybe if we go to
I don't know.
But
I mean, it would be.
I don't know how many people.
That's the thing. Like, I like set it up and be like, all right, waiting for everyone to come. Balloons and everything like that, all sorts of snacks and everything, and it's just like me, Crystal, Mom, and then maybe you.
Yeah, which would be fun.
But I would love to do meetups again. Honestly, like highlight of my life, like getting to like schedule. Like, remember we just did those meetups and like we did a meetup on our own in LA. That was super fun. That was cool. That was like just out of the blue. We played soccer together. That was so cool. And then we found a needle on the beach that we almost stepped on.
Oh my God.
LA. I love it. You get the good and the bad. Yeah. Alrighty. So look, what else? Oh my God, I was vegan for 2 years and then fell off the wagon with a bologna sandwich on white Wonder Bread. Lol, that's funny. Of all the meals, I used to eat that at lunch all the time. I remember that like sticking to the roof of your mouth of that white bread and like the processed like government cheese. So somebody here says probiotics seem to be falling out of favor as of late. Any opinions? Thanks in advance, Joseph. So I agree. I think that, I think there was like a lot of hope in the beginning, but then I think we realized that there needs to be a much more like targeted approach for balancing people's microbiome rather than just like throwing like billions of like a certain, strain. There's definitely strains that all of us can use and need and stuff like that. But yeah, Dr. Will, he talks about that a little bit, and he said, he's not a fan. It's not always like, okay, if you have some, gut problems, let's throw a whole bunch of probiotics at it right away. It's like, that's not really part of the protocol because you got to start back further than that. Do you both want a family and get married? We get this question all the time, but I like to answer it. Crystal gets annoyed. No, she doesn't.
Don't get annoyed.
She's just like, I don't know. No, you don't get annoyed, but it's it's just I think because you probably feel like you're expected to, have babies and stuff.
I'm sure people look at us and they probably are like, why haven't they had a baby or anything? They've been together for so long, and it's like, well, that's just not really what we want right now, I guess.
Yeah, we're not saying maybe in the future, maybe not. I'm running out of time, but yes, I don't. For us. Not right now. We love kids and love that other people have them, just like not us right now. And then as far as like getting married and stuff like that, that's something we'll do in the future. But it was Kristen's like, today maybe.
No.
And we're pretty open with each other, and we talk about these things. So we
like pretty much are. We just I guess there'd be a little bit more paperwork.
Living in sin. Living with each other.
We don't live together or anything.
Wow. Hey guys, watching from China. Woohoo. So glad I could watch you guys live. Your recipes are amazing.
Thank you.
I think this is the first time I've ever heard somebody watching from China. This is really cool. Not that it is the first person, but I didn't know that they watched my channel there. All right. Well, the questions are slowing down. Somebody asked,
would you try natto again? I think I would try it again if it was prepared properly, because the last time we tried it, we just ate it out of like the container it was in. But I've heard that you need to like, add a few things to it to make it a little bit more
yeah, like soy sauce and stuff.
yeah, to make it a little bit more like, kind of appealing.
Yes.
Man, that trip we had was so fun. Some of the best times I look back on, and like when we were in LA and stuff like that with our friends, it was so fun. Obviously, you guys saw the videos and stuff, but would you try natto again? You didn't really say anything. Yeah, you would if it was prepared.
I would try it again. Yeah, I would. Yep. So we know, natto's a really good source of vitamin K2 for anyone that's wondering like what makes it special. It's like the main source of K2 in like the plant kingdom. So that's why it's kind of an important food. But you can also supplement K2 with the vitamin D3. They often go together. Prebiotics are what Dr. B recommends. Yes.
Yeah.
Prebiotic fibers. My cancer hasn't been active since I gave up meat 8 years ago. That was worth reading and worth celebrating. Heck yeah. I love that. Love your channel. What is your go-to pre-workout powder? So yeah, a lot of the time I have a few different pre-workout things that I'll do. So always hydrate. And I find that's like one of the most important things for me, having a good workout. If I don't, your blood is really viscous. It's not going to like move around as much. You're not going to get as good of a pump. So yeah, hydrating is like really important. Sometimes I'll even put some electrolyte kind of thing in my water, just like this desalinated inland sea water. Put that in there. And that's really helpful for the like getting your electrolytes up. And then caffeine, like coffee, I definitely do use that. I'll only have it. That's my only time of day that I'll have it, just for my workout, small cup of coffee. But I do have to be mindful because it's not great for my digestion. And I know this, it speeds things up. I already have a fast digestion. And it can give me anxiety if I have too much coffee. I just worry like Crystal's mad at me all the time and stuff. But it's like, she's like, chill out. Like, why? You don't need to have like 6 cups of coffee today.
I'm like, vibing. Why are you mad?
I know. But then a couple other ones. Citrulline malate is one that I kind of like use from time to time when I just want to get like a really good pump and a good workout. And it's a good standalone, like single ingredient pre-workout. Kind of works similarly to like beetroot juice or beetroot powder crystals. And that's another one that I use as well. And it just helps with vasodilation, blood flow. And also with the beetroot, it helps with your oxygen carrying capacity, I believe it is. Anyways, you can do more. You can do more or the same amount of exercise using less oxygen. So yeah.
But you won't have like coffee, beetroot, citrulline.
No, I usually try and like
maybe one day he might have like coffee and be like, how's that going to be?
Yeah.
Because we've noticed that coffee mixed with these things, or not mixed, but like having all of these in one day is not great.
Yeah.
So and then sometimes you'll have the beetroot with the citrulline, I think, mixed.
No, not usually. No, because that's too much of the same thing.
No, so yeah, he picks and chooses. I guess you just wake up and you're like, how spicy am I feeling today? You're like, citrulline.
Yeah.
Or beetroot.
Yeah. So still drink a bit of coffee, but coffee also high histamine food. So if you have a lot of gas and bloating, and you can maybe tie it to that, like think about it. That's a high histamine food because it is fermented. Fermented foods are high histamine foods, and that's why you don't want to just throw sauerkraut at somebody who has dysbiosis, who has like problems with their gut microbiome, because it could make things worse. And Dr. B teaches you about that in that podcast. So check it out. Derek, do you like to run on the track or on fields? Well, today I ran to the school that's nearby, along the track, into the forest. So I like running in forests myself. That's my favorite. I just like how, like, I find on the road, eventually it will kind of like, just the repetitive motion. I like to be where my ankles are like moving around, and I can increase my speed and slow down, go up hills, and be focused on what I'm like stepping on and stuff. That keeps me going. That's why I love doing forest runs. Thank you. It's just some kind words. Does kimchi help with stomach problem? It can. It's fermented. But like I said, it's going to be a high histamine food as well. So it might not be good for everybody. Yeah. I don't know a ton about this histamine stuff, though. I just started learning about it recently when I started, listening to more of Dr. B, Dr. Will the Gut Health MD. So definitely check it out. Do you take email questions? We do, but we get so many, we can't answer all of them. Like people will ask us, sometimes we'll get an email and it'll be like, here's my entire workout plan and meal plan. Like, do you think there's anything I can do to tweak this? I just don't have time to like look through all that stuff. But Crystal does a lot of the emails too. And we just can't, unfortunately. But you can try. All right. Someone asked, have you ever avoided any vegetables or fruits based on our blood type? Thanks. No. Yeah, I know, me too. Drink a lot today. How are the cats? Our cats are doing great. Yeah. So, they're doing great. We had, I don't need to go into it. Polly would climb the trees and she would climb up there and I have to go rescue her. She's actually much better now. And she now can come back down. Somebody asked, oh man, about to go get some sauerkraut from the farmer's market. Nice. Yes. Nice. So when you get sauerkraut, you want to make sure it's unpasteurized, refrigerated, unless it's at a farmer's market, then it might not be refrigerated, but yeah. Oh man. Why are there so many YouTubers from Canada? I don't know, but I did notice that. I have noticed that a lot are from Canada. It's because we have long, cold winters and there's not much else to do other than start a YouTube channel here. All right. So I think somebody said they made that chili that we made the other day and they loved it. I know. Oh, that's the last question I wanted to ask you guys. And so hopefully there's enough of you here. 370, definitely. So second ebook. I know it was supposed to be out like 5 years ago, but I'm starting it up again and it's going to be out soon. Like I'm talking soon. And I just wanted to know if there's any recipes.
It'll be out sometime. Hopefully. No,
it'll be soon. Trust me. No, it's going to be soon. If we don't, it's now or never. It's soon. I don't care. But if there's any recipes that we used to that we've made in the past that you guys want to see in it, please let us know in the comments right now. Like we're talking, the chili recipe is going to be in there. A lot of the favorites from the YouTube channel are going to be in there. And this is going to be a book just for simply you guys who want all the recipes in one place. You want a way to support me and Crystal. It's going to be that. But most of the recipes you can find if you want to like rummage through all my YouTube channels or all my YouTube videos and find them. They're going to be pretty similar. But of course, they're going to be like amounts. I'll make them a little bit better. We're going to, we've tested them and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just let us know here in the comments if there are any. I'm going to let Crystal do this for 1 second and I'm just going to go to the washroom.
Yeah. So the idea with our next recipe ebook is that we're going to have like original recipes, but then we're also going to put recipes in there that a lot of people enjoy from our YouTube videos. Because obviously it's like a pain in the butt to try to sometimes find the recipes in our YouTube videos, especially in the what I eat in a day videos. Like we don't put recipe amounts or anything like that because it's a lot, and Derek oftentimes doesn't measure, but I know that there's some recipes that you guys probably see in those videos that you might want in an ebook. So let us know what your favorite recipes are that Derek has like created, and then we want to hopefully make sure that we get like most of those recipes in the ebook. Yeah. Anyways, I saw someone, hopefully they're still watching, mention that they were having struggles with PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is like a more intense version of PMS. And they asked if there's any supplements or anything like that. So I definitely suggest, if you didn't hear me earlier in this video, there's a book by Laura Bryden called Period Repair Manual that talks about PMS and different types of PMS, because there's like PMS with depression and anxiety, which might be more of the symptoms you're experiencing, and just like supplements and stuff that might be able to help with that.
Okay.
Some supplements that might help would be, I would look into, I'm not suggesting take it, but I would look into vitamin B6. It can be really great for moods. And then possibly magnesium as well. Magnesium can just be great for like everyone in general, but it can be really supportive for menstrual health issues and mood stuff like PMS and PMDD. And then also it's always good to make sure that you're, I don't know, like take a zinc. If you don't take a zinc supplement, make sure that you're having like enough zinc rich foods in your diet, just because zinc is also another really important menstrual health like nutrient that sometimes can be a little bit lower on a vegan diet. So, or if you're not like focusing on it. So sometimes that can be something to look at too, but I'm not saying to take all of those. Those are just things that you can like take and research about and see if maybe any of those would be helpful.
Nice. Thanks for the suggestions. I'm definitely, I love Derek taking notes. I know.
Yeah, we're taking notes. Okay. So someone said, the vegan mushroom gravy recipe. Write it down. Oh, you did. Oh,
yeah,
you did. Okay.
I have that written down. I was laughing. Somebody said buffalo ice cream.
Someone said we both look anemic. Okay, well, we're just very pale, so you know. I'm more pale than Derek because I don't really go out in the sun. But thank you very much.
I have no.
Thank you for noticing.
I have no iron in my blood.
Derek actually, last time he got his blood test, his iron was like too high. Isn't that crazy?
It wasn't too high.
Well,
it was like
a little over.
I don't think it was. Oh, well, it's on video, and you guys can go check.
It was like higher than buffalo wing sauce. We put that in there, but I think I have that in there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going in there.
Ramen noodle soup with the smoked tofu. So that's like our pho recipe.
Oh, okay.
Anything. Everyone likes that buffalo. I love that.
Yeah, when I did that, I was like, man, I'm such a genius. Although all I had to do was look at the recipe
soup.
Or the back of the bottle and make the same thing. Minestrone, yes, that's right.
Some of these recipes, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, we've made that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back.
Oh, the chickpea flour fries. Oh, those were so
good. Yeah,
chickpea
fries. I have that here.
Oh, those were so good.
Yeah, chickpea flour
Ultimate
fries.
stir fry.
Was it chickpea flour or was it polenta fries? Or have we done both?
I think it was with chickpea flour.
Okay.
We haven't done polenta fries on the channel.
But we have made them.
We have made them, and they're pretty good as well. Very similar though. A little bit more intensive to make, I feel.
Right.
Can jackfruit have side effects?
One is drowsiness. Huh.
I don't think so.
Maybe protein deficiency because it has no protein in it. I was so upset when I made it the first time. I was like, oh man, this is the best. It's such a good meat replacement. And then I looked and it's because it's a fruit, right? I guess so there's not a lot of protein in there.
That's so funny. Alejandro. Yeah. Thanks for the content over the years. Last week's chilies were a hit.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, Chris's chili.
Sometimes when I make recipes, I'm like, are they good enough? I don't know if anyone's gonna like them, but I always remember that people can take the base recipe and do what they want with it, right? Because we all have different taste preferences and stuff like that. Hey, Derek, do you moisturize your face?
Is this the same person saying that I was anemic? Because I feel like it's a loaded question. But yeah, I do moisturize my face now. I didn't used to, but I did, and I do now. And I use aloe when I get out of the shower. I put aloe on my hand, and then what's the squalene oil? Is that the other stuff I use?
It's
But vegan.
It's a vegan. It's from Biosense. Yeah, I think it's squalene.
Yeah.
Squalene oil.
Yeah.
Not squalene.
It's so good. Try those two together. Just a bit of aloe and then that stuff, and I just rub it on my face and it works really nicely. I just like to keep it simple. Hopefully you were asking because my skin looks moisturized and not totally dry.
They're like, oh, I'm never going to use whatever you use. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, the lasagna. Don't worry, you guys. The lasagna that I made is going in the ebook. That lasagna is so good. I can't wait to make it again, actually.
Yes, I know. Oh, this is great. These are the kind of suggestions that I was hoping for. I meant to do it right at the beginning of the video, but I forgot. What are you laughing at?
Do you believe Michael Keaton is the best Batman? I don't even know all the Batmans. You have to list. I don't know. No, I can't answer that because I don't have enough information.
Raw power bites. Did we make those? Okay.
We could. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those would be a good one to have in there. Because the idea, I don't want to give away the title. Someone might steal it, but it's going to be more comfort food kind of thing. Because the first ebook was sort of hey, if you want to look shredded and lean and eat kind of plain food, this is a good ebook for you. But this one is now that I know what I'm doing,
it's gonna be
the food's good.
If you want to enjoy your meal.
If you want to enjoy veganism, but also still very healthy. You guys know my style.
Someone asked, "Hey Crystal, please suggest exercises. Can I not talk to achieve the back of yours?" That's very nice. I would say that the best thing that I've ever done for my back definition is definitely including calisthenics in my routine. Mostly chin-ups and pull-ups. I find pull-ups because I'm so wide. Look at this arm span. It's crazy. Is a little bit
centered here.
Uncomfortable in my elbows actually. So I focus more on doing chin-ups, but different like this grip, neutral grip. And then sometimes doing is it commando chin-ups those ones?
Yeah.
Just very different variations because you're literally pulling yourself up. So you can imagine your back muscles are doing so much work because you're like pulling yourself.
I think, yes.
Pulling yourself up. It's crazy. And you can like feel it when you go even do like that.
And if you can't do your body weight at first, use a band to help assist you. And another one that, and you never really got into them, but I think they're really good, is Australian Rose.
I try to sometimes do them. They're hard. Oh my God, Australian Rose are really hard.
It's like similar to like a pull-up, but your heels or your feet are anchored on the ground. And it's a little bit better for beginners, but I do it myself, and they're really good because you can really like just really squeeze that back. You really want to like squeeze it to engage all those muscles.
And then of course, if you have like access to a gym, there's like lat pull downs are really great. And I also find bent over rows can be really good as well. I sometimes use like the landmine barbell and do like a bent over row with it, with like it sounds anyway, bent over rows and then like lat pull downs. But honestly, like the calisthenics is where it's at. Like the chin ups has been, I think, like monumental. Grated tofu. But also remember consistency. So like I do them a lot. I'm not just doing chin-ups, like a few chin-ups once a week or something. Like sometimes I'll do like on like, depending on my workouts, like 2 or 3 times a week, I'll have like chin-ups in my workouts. I just make my own workouts up. I don't follow a plan either, but
cool.
Helps a lot.
Jackfruit does help with bone density, somebody said. Interesting. I didn't know that about. I wonder what it is. Yeah, somebody says, have you noticed that digestive issues have seemed to be on the rise?
Probably with how much they are spraying stuff, honestly. Because if well, a lot of people when they go to Europe and they have, say like gluten-rich foods or something like that, like if they have pastas and stuff that they might not digest really well, like breads, they seem to be able to digest them better there. And it's because they have like really strict standards on how they process the wheat flour and just flours in general and how they grow them. And here we just like spray the crap out of them and put them in everything. And it's like,
I think that
it's like pretty scary.
I think that what they're spraying.
And also just like this stuff in like it's everywhere in the air and stuff like that.
Okay, so.
And how processed food is sometimes cheaper than other like vegetables and stuff like that, so people will go to that, and then like that's going to cause issues and stuff like
these like thickeners and emulsifiers, I think we're finding out now that they're not they're not as what's the word, like innocuous or whatever, like they actually can have a fairly bad effect. All right, well, do you guys ever use a microwave or own one? Yeah, there's one back there. And for a long time, we didn't have a microwave. We didn't use it, but we do now sometimes.
I love it. I'm just going to put it out there. I love the microwave. It makes making meals so much easier because I'll make like a big Instant Pot meal, and then I scoop that in my bowl, and then I'm in the microwave, and I'm like, my lunch is done. It's like 5 minutes. Like, honestly, I think it's really easy if you're like lazy like me, like more of like a lazy cook and eater. Microwave is like where it's at.
Well, I've been doing I've been doing some.
Derek doesn't really use it as much as me.
But no, I just don't like I just like cooking other methods. But I was like researching for a video that I was thinking of maybe trying to get done for today, which I didn't, which is why we're doing this live. But I also wanted to talk to you guys about the ebook. But and what was I going to say? Total brain fart here.
With the microwave. Microwave is actually a really gentle way of cooking food.
It actually preserves like nutrients better than a lot of other cooking methods. So, but I know some people, they have some insider information on like how, I don't know, the government trying to kill us with microwaves and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm open to information if somebody wants to send me stuff on like how microwaves are bad. I know a lot of, it's a controversial subject, but we use it from time to time. So Crystal does not use creatine. Pressure cooker recipes sounds good. Recipe idea of vegan cheese, how to make it. Oh man, some people do it so much better than me. Like Rich Roll's wife has like a whole book on how to make different vegan cheeses.
Yeah, I don't know if
and it's like a whole like she's culturing stuff and whatever. Like so
someone said, I don't have problems digesting breads and pastas. Do you have those problems? No, we don't. But I know that a lot of people avoid like breads and stuff like that because they might have those issues, and just because like the wheat in them can generally process and stuff here. But I find like the thing that can like upset my stomach the most is like stuff like raw garlic or like a crap ton of like garlic powder for some reason. I don't know,
Right.
like it can just hit me the wrong way. Other than that, like my digestion is pretty good, and obviously I feel really lucky because I know a lot of people can struggle with that.
Mm.
Someone actually asked about cravings, like in the follicular phase of their cycle. I know we're just jumping around on questions here, but I don't personally have sugar cravings or like sweet cravings in the follicular phase of my cycle because that's usually when your estrogen is higher. And for me, I'm like really energetic, but I find that my appetite is, I wouldn't say like low in that phase, but it's not like I'm not as like ravenous when I'm in my luteal phase, which is like closer to my period, right? So, but I do find what I usually do is I will make like energy balls, and like I'll do like oats and sometimes like maple syrup, or maybe use dates and then do like peanut butter. So it's like it's like
The raw
satiating.
balls, yeah.
And then I'll usually maybe add some chocolate chips, and then and then roll those up, and I'll actually put them in the freezer. So this guy doesn't eat them, but also, so I have them there, and I'm not going to be eating like a whole bunch of them at once. And so I will have some of those usually when I'm having those like kind of cravings. I will still make like cookies and stuff like that though. Like I'm not, it's not like I'm like super clean eater or anything like that, but I like to do the energy balls because it's like really quick, really easy. And then if you have like that like hankering for something, but you're like, oh, I don't want to have like cookies or anything, you're like, oh, I have like a little energy ball, I can have that. And then you can go out and like do stuff because it actually gives you like energy. So that's what I do, and that really helps me, just having like a little something like that.
Oh, cool. So Victoria G asked a question here, and then someone said, that's a good question, Victoria. So I figured I should answer it. Hey, Derek, how do you stay so consistent with your workouts despite dealing with injuries? I've heard you say a few times that your ankle is wrecked or that you have shoulder issues. Do I complain a lot? I try not to. No, but I like to be real, right? Because I don't want you guys to, just think that, I never go through these things too. So what I do, I'm big on like, when something starts hurting, I stop doing that. Like I'm not one of these people that's like push through the pain. Like, no, I'm really respectful of my body. So when I do have injuries, I just like totally like work around them and then find gentle ways to like strengthen that area. So yeah, like as far as and it's funny because like, yeah, I'll feel like my shoulders are like bulletproof, and then just like out of nowhere, it won't do anything like weird or whatever. Like, I'll get something wrong with it. It'll like hurt. So then I have to like figure out, okay, well, what caused it? Or, what am I doing repetitively that made this happen? And then stop doing that. But yeah, I don't know. I just work around it. I do other things that don't hurt. So I haven't been doing a lot of pull-ups lately because it's been kind of, this whole like sort of chain all the way down here has been sort of aggravated, but it's getting better now. So I'll get back into them slowly, but I won't, start with my max reps like I used to do. So that's the big thing. And then like, we know like the rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation, when you get injuries, it always helps. But maybe not, I don't know, just like always ice isn't always a good idea. So maybe forget that one, but rest, compression, elevation, always good. And then hot cold therapy is really helpful for like ligaments and tendons, stuff that doesn't get a lot of blood flow, because it helps to bring blood flow to that area, bring nutrients to help heal that. So,
but I wouldn't say you've had like a super serious injury.
No, I've been really, not like, lucky, but I've been calculated. I noticed with like squats, for instance, I really want to like try and build up my legs, but whenever I started to up the weight on squats, my lower back, I'd be pushing up, and I'd get that little twinge where it's like, if you do this again, you're gonna be in bed for a month, right? So then, right, I don't go, oh, was that pain or wasn't? I know it, and I put it away. But what I've been doing now are reverse back extensions. Is that what we've decided they were called?
Oh, I think so.
Yes. Reverse back extensions, where your legs are anchored and then your body is down here. You pull your upper body up like this, and you're using you're squeezing like your lower back, which is also like part of your core, whole part around you there. And now when I go to do squats and I load up the weight, I just feel like so solid and so strong. So making sure that you're strengthening like all the other stabilizers and the accompanying muscle groups as well. Wow. Sorry, no, I just see someone here said new video just came out by The Real Truth. About Health. Okay, I guess that's the name, by The Real Truth About Health, which talks about glyphosate and the neurological problems it is causing in the body. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw my video a couple weeks back on pesticides and glyphosate and stuff like that, but I did a video on that, and it's freaking ridiculous. And what they're doing here in Canada is they're trying to increase the allowable limits on much of our food, which are already really high. It's so crazy. Anyways,
why do you love weightlifting so much instead of, say, running or something else?
Because I like, okay, there's a few different reasons. Like, I mean, running can be more of, you can go out with a group, but I find, like, I always grew up playing team sports. So I love, like, the camaraderie of having, like, other people around, seeing other people. And I don't care what level they're at, first day in the gym or professional bodybuilder. I just love seeing people push themselves. And I love being around other people that help to inspire me. So that's a big part for me, like going to the gym, is like the camaraderie and just like the social aspect of it. I also like getting stronger, like physically, it just like feels cool. I like how I fill out my clothes a little bit more when I have a little bit more muscle. I just like I feel like I look better. Not, I don't know, like that's such a, vain thing, but I just feel more comfortable.
And more confident.
And more confident,
That's
yeah.
okay to say.
And it's like good for bone density and stuff like that. There's lots of reasons. It's not really why I'm doing it, though. I'm not like, oh, I want to have strong bones and I'm older and do curls, but it's a nice side effect.
There's a lot of benefits to strength training.
Yes.
It can help with like blood sugar and
there you go. And
mood
kind of
stuff. Too. Yeah, mood is a big one.
Yeah. Also, yeah, your gut motility, microbiome, that sort of stuff. All important, but not so much for weightlifting. That's more for just like movement, running and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Those are kind of the reasons why I love, and I like the challenge, and I like the results I get from it. Yeah.
Coming up on an hour and a half.
All right, we should probably. What was that? Have you no problem. Oh no, I haven't. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably cut it off here. I love answering. Like, I just never know what questions are going to come through the pipe. I love answering them. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah. Question. Man. Yeah, I know. One of my favorite vegan singers. I don't know who is even a vegan singer.
No, who are your favorite singers? It doesn't say vegan.
Oh.
No.
Why would I even like add that? I don't know. I don't have too many favorite singers anymore. Yeah. Well, I'd have to think pretty hard about that. Like, oh man, yeah, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, like one of my all-time faves. But anyways, Ariana Grande is a vegan singer. There you go. Is she though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways, I love you guys. That's it for us today. Thank you so much. Sorry, no upload this weekend, but at least we got a live up here. We've been working and doing this recipe ebook. So if you're watching this after the fact and you have any other suggestions, put them down below for the recipe ebook that's going to be coming out soon. Yes. All right. Nice. Someone said, yeah, Mark Knopfler is amazing. Heck yeah. Go listen to Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits today. Think of me. It's such a good song. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye. Nice. Thanks, babe.